Yeah, just
Let's see her on here yet.
Okay.
Where's Allie?
oh, there she is, pretties.
I'm letting you mute more. Oops.
Make host. There you go.
Yes.
Perfect. I love Zoom. It's great. Sneak us.
Can you guys see my screen?
I can see it.
Thank you.
Yes, we can see the slideshow. Alan, Tucker, stop. Y'all can grab seats. Y'all might want to come closer. They can't see you. Pull the chairs and tables. You can steal the chairs from the. Are you gonna sit here? Or are you gonna help with banquet? Okay. Ask if they need any help. You might want to sit in because your family's in. I don't know if I'm doing this. There you are. You got your checks.
I'm not being on television. It's bright now.
Can you see me?
It's on fire. Oh, I have my.
They talking to you? No. Do you need paper to take notes?
My mom has something she needs.
Oh, she does that.
She does that.
She does that for you.
Because I ride faster than her.
I'm horrible at writing.
Oh, you just need notes. Huh? We all can do it.
Oh, no, take notes.
I have to.
I don't know. I think she's fixing it out. Yeah, I'm just taking notes.
If you think that I won't keep it. Come be on live TV.
What are you? Huh?
They can hear every word you say. It's a Chick Chain webinar. Oh, it's getting ready to start. Oh, cool.
There's some more chairs in here. They needed.
No one else in here. I guess it's gonna be. She'll unmute it when she starts talking. Oh, okay.
Oh, look. Popcorn by Valley. Okay, now you're on.
Na, 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 na.
Hey, Miss Prudence.
Hey, how are y'all doing?
Great. How about you?
Good.
Do you see our beautiful dancing?
I did. I saw you dancing.
Great. Ready? Look at He's like, who? She can hear you, sweetie.
After my watch will be starting in 3 minutes. Julie, I sent you a private chat.
Hey, Prudence. Heather's here with Julie. She's not in the room. She's doing open house, but I'll check it.
Okay, good. Thank you. Oh, that's right. I forgot about that.
Okay, I'll go ask her. I'll be right back.
Okay, it is 5:30, and we are going to go ahead and start for the sake of time. The plan is to run through the PowerPoint, touch on some information. So those of you that are here with us, you probably need to have something to scratch some notes on because we're going to give you some times and information like that. So if you have any questions, oh, hang on just a sec. Heather's back. Oh, I think she's chatting me. So, okay. If you have any questions, you can just jot those down, and then we will get to those at the end. And we're going to run through this pretty quick, and then we'll go through questions. Is that good with everybody? Okay. So the first thing you guys need to know to get ready for the show is that you're going to pick the showbirds that you're going to bring on September 30th. You're going to pick them, and you're going to pick 3 of the same breed. So if you got 2 different breeds of birds and you have 2 really good of one breed and 1 really good of the other, you're going to have to bring 3 of the same breed. It's not a mix and match, if that makes sense to you. So that's the first thing. It's going to be 3 birds from the same breed. And then you are going to bathe them, and you're going to handle them. If you've not been handling these birds, you need to start doing that tonight. And I say tonight because that's the easiest way to pet up a bird, is when they're on the roost and it's dark. They're going to be less likely to lose their minds when you go to touch them. So if you've not been, a lot of y'all have probably been hand raising these birds and can go outside and touch them all you want. But if you haven't been doing that and you just kind of stuck them in a cage after they got unfluffy and uncute, then you want to start petting them up, and because you're going to have to handle them and the judge is going to have to handle them at the show. So you want to start handling them as soon as possible. Your showmanship questions you should have received from your agent. If you have not, just ask your agent where those are and get those. And be studying those, because those are the questions that the judge is going to ask you. Also, project book is coming up due fast. The project books are due on the 11th to your 4-H agent, as well as your registration form. So you need to know which birds or which breed of birds you're going to be bringing the show, and if you plan on auctioning them. Last year we had some youth that brought birds and did not want them, and it was highly confusing. So your deadline to determine whether you're going to auction or not is September 11th, which is coming up pretty quick. So be thinking about that and figuring out which breeds and if you plan on auctioning or not. Oh, there we go. Okay. So the next thing you need to start gathering up is your show attire. Now, the main thing I want to touch on is no hats. I know you have an awesome cowboy hat, or you have a great 4-H hat. That's wonderful. Appreciate that. Really, I do. But no hats in the show arena. No jeans tucked down into boots. Your shirt must be tucked in. Your shoes, I know it's Florida and I know it's hot, but your shoes absolutely positively have to be closed-toed shoes. Now, as far as the clothes go, the actual outfit, your top needs to be either white or green. And I am wearing a 4-H shirt today, but it's a t-shirt. And if I were showing, I would not be wearing this because it's a t-shirt. So it needs to be, this picture here is a t-shirt and this is a t-shirt with 3/4 length sleeves, but something that has a collar would be really awesome. And dark jeans without holes in them. Remember, you're trying to look your best. Okay? Now, on the day before the show, this is what we're going to cover mostly. Now, last year, we did this hands-on, and you can do it like this young man is with a tub to wash your chickens, or you can do it if you have a laundry sink in your laundry room, a deep one, something like that. You can wash them in there. I personally, my experience, I wash my chickens in the sink in the house because my chickens are very little. I have tiny chickens, and I'll show you my tiny chicken in a minute. But y'all don't have tiny chickens because y'all didn't raise bantams. So you have to wash them in something contained like this, okay? Now, you also, when you select your chickens to show, you're going to do a health check, make sure there's no issues with the chicken or anything like that. And you want to get a transport cage because you're going to have to be transporting your bird. Kyle, can you come here, please? The next thing you need to do is pack your show kit. Now, we have that on here, but each district is going to have a show box. Mine's not a box, but each district is going to have one. So, Allie and Brian, I have District 1s already put together for the things that I'll be bringing. So y'all won't need to worry about that. And Veronica so District 1 we have put together. And I'm going to just give you a quick look at it. This is already put together, and then we're going to go through that in a minute. And Julie, I believe, has one, and then we'll get one put together for District 3. So we will have a huge show kit like this, but your own personal show kit we'll go through and show you kind of what you're going to need. So in my show box, I have 2 different kinds of wipes. So I have baby wipes that are just no dyes, no fragrance, just simple baby wipes, fragrance free. And I have as you can see, I've got a bunch of them. So I've got plenty of those. And those are to clean off the chicken's feet. If during transport, the chicken gets dirty during, in the carrier or something like that. I also have these wipes that are for your hands if your dirty chicken has been touched by you, which you don't want. Now, in addition, when we talked about bathing the chicken, I also keep a thing of baby shampoo. Now, we're not going to bathe the chickens the day of the show, but this is my show bag, so this stays because I just keep it there. Now, the other thing I have is, I'm going to go down the list so I don't forget anything. Okay. Is vitamin E oil. And you can get this if you're going to show chickens a lot. It's like $3 or $4, I think, at Walgreens where the vitamins are. So it's just liquid vitamin E oil, and I will show you how to use that. Oh, hang on. Okay. So now you get the chicken. So what you're going to do is the vitamin E oil is going to go on the comb and the wattles, and it's going to clean out any teeny tiny little bits of dirt that are in there, as well as make it nice and bright. Okay. Now, the next thing on the list are Q-tips, and this chicken is filthy because we pulled her out of a sand bath. But the next thing on the list is Q-tips. Again, we have enough for 10 shows in this one show box, so you probably don't need to go buy Q-tips. I've got plenty. And so the Q-tip, of course, is going to be used once you clean with the vitamin E oil, the comb and the wattles. If you've got any dirt down in a crease you just really can't get to, that's what the Q-tips are for. Then also a thing of paper towels and hand sanitizer. I use these for hand sanitizer. And you want to bring a Ziploc bag of your food. We cannot be responsible for everybody's food that is going to be at the show. So you want to make sure that your bird has their food, and you want to bring that in a Ziploc bag so that we don't have to try. Last year we had to get quite a bit of food in an emergency kind of situation because we didn't have any. Now, here's the other secret ingredient. Are you guys ready? This is Shoshin. And so I have a bottle that's brand new. Julie has a bottle, and District 3 will get a kit just like this. And so they will have a bottle. And that's what you're going to spray. And your agent can help you do that, or I can help the youth do that. That's what you're going to, once your chicken is clean and ready to be in the show, you're going to put some of the Shoshin just to gloss their feathers a little bit. You don't want to put them in a cloud like you're doing mosquito repellent or anything, okay? Does anybody have any questions so far? I don't see any hands raised, so that's good news. Okay, so we will move on. All right, so this is basically what your show schedule is going to look like for the 30th of September. So we're going to have 8 a.m. starts check-in, and that's going to start with the closer counties. And then the farther away counties from Jackson will begin check-in much later. Now, if you do not have any other chickens in your house or on your property besides the Chick Chain chickens, you need to let us know that. Let your agent know, and I will get your agent the NPIP certification letter so that your birds will not have to be poked with a needle at the beginning of the show during the check-in, and it will make check-in go a lot faster. If you have other birds at your farm, but you are NPIP certified, bring that card with you, and it will allow us to not have to poke your birds with a needle, okay? Otherwise, it's going to slow things up when we're going through this. Now, all of these chicks came from an NPIP certified farm and hatchery. So if these are the only birds that are on your premises, then you are good, and they won't need to bleed the birds, okay? Now, the next thing is from after the check-in from 10 to 11:30, we're going to have the skillathon, and the chickens will also be judged at that time. Now, no one will be allowed in the barn during the skillathon. Yes, during the skillathon and the judging. So the youth will all be doing skillathon, and the judge will do the judging. Then after that, hello? Oh, okay, I think they were just shifting. I thought there was a question. Then after that, we're going to do showmanship. and then awards and the auction. Now it says to bring your own lunch, drinks, and snacks. There will be no time for the youth to leave the premises and then come back. Okay? So does anybody have any questions so far?
We got a quick question. What exactly is the Skillathon?
Is
that where they
Angel
ask the list of questions?
the Skillathon is, and I don't know if Angel is on here right now, but Nikki, you are on here. Do you think you can explain the Skillathon? I know the questions.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay. So the Skillathon is, it's a fun way to go over all of the educational materials that the youth should have gained the knowledge throughout the project. So it's a fun way of incorporating all of the materials and the skills that hopefully they have gained the knowledge throughout this project. So there will be like hands-on materials that the youth should have learned, and they will be putting that information together in a I guess it's more hands-on. So they will be answering questions in a hands-on way. So there's a kit that we have, and there will be diagrams, and they will have to answer questions, and then they will score points. And if I'm not mistaken, we are doing prizes. Is that correct, Prudence? Is that the last thing that we had agreed to?
Yes, we are doing prizes, and I'm going to shift real quick to the
and that information
Skillathon scorecard. But yes, it's a fun way to just kind of show off what you've learned in the project. None of it is.
It's nothing that should be a surprise to the children and to the youth. It should not be a surprise. It should be information that they have learned all along the way based on their age and their skill level. And all of this information, the agents and the volunteers should have seen, or it will be available to them if they've not seen it yet. We will make sure that the information is again sent out. It is on the website, but we will make sure that if anybody on the call has not seen it, and it sounds like maybe some have not seen it or had it available to them, we'll make sure that we will send it out again if it's been overlooked by accident. But it is available, so we will make sure that we send that out again. I know there's a lot of information to this project, but we'll make sure that it's sent out again as a reminder. But it's a fun way to make sure that that the youth have gained the skills and learned the knowledge from this project in a fun way.
And Veronica, if you give me a holler tomorrow after like 2 o'clock, I'll go over it a little more with you, because I know you're in a unique situation there. So.
Okay, good. We were talking about the district website that has all the info on there, because I've looked on there and I'm not even finding the questions for them. So I'm not sure that I'm looking in the right place. So it might be.
I think you're not. Give me a holler tomorrow and I'll show you where to look.
All right, sounds good.
Yeah. Okay, so the next part is going to be the showmanship scorecard. And this is junior, intermediate, and senior. Of course, our Clover Buds are going to be allowed to show and ask very simple questions because they're not competing. But when you get up to the junior, intermediate, and senior, they're going to, this is the scorecard the judge is looking at for showmanship. So if you are in clean, conventional clothing, and we went over that up here, so it is nice shirt, nice pants. You're going to look, you know, like you're going to a show because you're in a show. So nice, clean clothes. And the appearance of the bird, when you bring your bird to the showmanship judge, you are going to, and I'm almost scared to do this because it seems like all y'all are watching, so we might just have a fluke crazy situation with Clementine here. But so when you bring your bird to the show, you're going to have your bird in front of the judge, and you want to make sure that she's not, don't pick the bird you've had trouble with and the bird that is a little flighty. So you want to make sure that you can control the bird, that she's comfortable with you, you're comfortable with her, and that while you're talking to the judge, you're able to focus on the judge and not trying to hold a chicken that is flapping her wings like crazy and trying to get away from you. So the handling of the bird, the appearance of the bird, of course, we're going to have the birds cleaned. And, oops, hang on. All right, sorry about that. My towel hit the mouse pad. So you want to have a nice, clean bird that you can talk to the judge that's going to be not excitable when you're in front of the judge. So the bird that you have the best relationship with, that's the one you want to use for your showmanship bird. Does that make sense with everyone? Okay. Good, she did pretty decent. Good girl. And see, my towel hit the thing again. Okay, so that is the end of the appearance of the bird. Now the showmanship, they're gonna have you put the bird in a cage and pull the bird out of a cage and identify basic parts of the bird. And so there's a list of those parts. So you wanna make sure that you're handling your bird in a way that in front of a judge, you can maintain to show the judge the feet, show the judge the legs, show the judge the tail. Of course, it's a lot easier with a small chicken, but you want to be able to handle the bird in a manner that if you have to show the judge her toenails, then you'll be able to do that. So again, pick your friendliest bird to do that with. And then your knowledge of poultry in general. So give the bird's breed, which is going to be pretty easy. You'll know that. And then answer some conversational questions about how you got your bird ready for the show. What type of feed do you feed the bird? If you just feed the bird whatever is in the barn, you need to figure out what it is, because that's not the answer the judges are looking for. So you want to know what is the protein level maybe of what you're feeding the bird, who makes your feed, that kind of thing. If your bird has, because this is the one that's going to be your pet, if she has a special treat that she loves more than anything, you can mention that. You know, my chickens absolutely will hurt you over watermelon. They love it. So that's something. If you haven't tried to give your chickens watermelon, you should totally do that. But so that is the kind of information about your general knowledge of poultry. Now, your project books. We've seen project books of all sorts. And what we're judging on is neatness, creativity. Your financial information is included. So if you got a receipt at your extension office when you join the Chick Chain Project, that's the kind of stuff you want to hold on to. Whenever you have to go buy food or treats or whatever you need for your chickens, those are the receipts you want to include in your record book. Also, we've had a lot of times, instead of just saying I feed grower starter, they include the little tag off of the bag of grower starter in the record book. That's the kind of thing we want. Now, I want to stress our story in the record book. This is basically the same record book for junior, intermediate, and senior. Now, an 8-year-old child might write, I really have enjoyed this project. This has been super fun, and I really like chickens. My favorite chicken's name is Clementine. And that's okay, because they're 8. If you're 16, we need more from you. Does that make sense? Don't write 4 sentences. That's not a project story. So that is what your record books are going to, how they're going to be judged, and they're going to be judged by a team of people. So it's not just one person that is going to be looking at the project record books. Now, here is the basic information on the awards. Now this is for the birds, okay? You, 4-H youth, are going to have awards based on your showmanship and your skill-a-thon scores and your record book. So that's different awards. But the poultry are going to be judged by a pen of 3. So if you have 3 Rhode Island Reds in a pen, they're going to be judged based on that. Each bird is going to receive its own ribbon based on the birds that are in that cage. Does that make sense? So you're going to get a county grand and reserve champion. So all of the Escambia County birds are going to be judged against other Escambia County birds. And then you're going to get the best grand and reserve champion out of those birds. Then you're going to have the best for the breed. So all the Rhode Island Reds will be judged against each other. And then you'll have grand and reserve of the Rhode Island Reds and of the Black Australorps and all the breeds and so on. Then those birds that get grand and reserve of the breed will be then eligible for overall grand and reserve of the whole entire show. So it could be that in Santa Rosa County, we pick a breed that is, I don't know that this happened. I would have to look at my spreadsheet, but I don't think it did. But so let's say, for instance, in Santa Rosa County, we picked a breed that nobody else in the whole chick chain got, and this is the only breed that has these birds. And so they could get the county grand champion, but the next county over, their birds, their leghorns, let's say, are better than our leghorns. So even though we have the best leghorns in our county, because we only have the only leghorns in our county, they aren't as good as Okaloosa's leghorns. Or they may not be as good as the leghorns from, I'm just looking at people's counties on the bottom here, Holmes County. So it just because you got the best in your county doesn't mean that you have the best breed total. And how the birds are judged is they are judged on their own breed standard. So I'm going to show you Clementine again, simply because I know the breed standard for these birds because I show them. So she is of show quality because, number one, she has nothing but black feathers all over her body. She is a black Old English game Bantam hen. And I know even though her comb flops, that is not a disqualifying point. She has 5 points to her comb, and she has a mulberry coloring to her comb and wattles. I'm going to see if I can get her. There you go. Can you see? She's got nice black eyes, so her eyeballs are not tan or brown. And so she is a good show quality hen of this particular breed. So she would not be a good quality hen if we were looking at, let's say, a Japanese Bantam, because their combs have to be erect. Hers is actually flopped over a little bit, but that's not a disqualifying feature for this breed. So each of your breeds, you can, when you're selecting your birds for the show, which ones you want, you just Google Rhode Island Red breed standard, and it will tell you what the breed standard is for that particular breed. So it's not a secret which one to pick. And if you have questions about which one to pick, what the breed standards are, if you can't find that, let your agent know, and they can get with me and we can get that information for you. Because I know that if I asked the judge, he would tell me what the breed standards are for each different breed. So we are all done with what information we wanted to give you, except for any questions that you might have. So what questions can I answer?
Hi, we have a question. When was the registration forms? When will the registration forms for the auction and show be sent out?
The forms should be sent out probably September 1. That is our goal. We're still finalizing those.
Are they going to be on 4-H Online?
I don't know. We could put them on 4-H Online. We can say yes.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Would you guys prefer paper forms or 4-H Online forms? I like 4-H Online because it's easy to sort and print that list. Anybody?
Can it be emailed to us?
Yes.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, what other questions do you have? Yes.
I've got
Hang on, I've got a hand raised here with Kat. I'm going to unmute you. I think. Well, I thought I was. Hang on. Okay, it's not letting me unmute you, Kat. Can you unmute yourself? Okay, can you type in the chat box your question? Okay, while she's typing that, Veronica, you said you had a question?
Yes, we've got a copy of them.
Yes. Yes, they will be on the place that I talked to you about tomorrow.
Okay.
Yes.
Awesome. And then a couple others about the breeds. Are they gender specific? Because we have I don't know if we had just pullets come in, but we got a lot of roosters in our batch.
This show is gender specific.
So it's
this
just
show,
pullet?
it's all pullets, yes. Hang on just one sec. Let me go put her out. Hang on. Okay, so yes, this show is for pullets only. And I know we had some issues with that. If that disqualifies any of your youth, meaning that they have 4 roosters and only 2 pullets, get with me and the committee will kind of talk about what to do in that situation.
Okay, and then with that, so the sets of 3, they can have more than one set of 3 put in, but different breeds.
Each child can show 3 birds. So they
Just
pick
one set of 3.
the best.
Okay.
Right. Okay, so we had, the question was, they had vending last year, and the question was, or I guess this was like, hamburgers and hot dogs and nachos, one of the clubs did, and I am not sure that that will take place again this year, but I will check on that and see if this specific county that we're showing in has a club that is willing to do that, where they grilled out hot dogs, I think, and nachos, that sort of stuff. Which was nice because then we got to eat and didn't have to try and find somewhere. Okay, are there any other questions? Okay, so, oh yes, somebody has a question.
Real quick, sorry. So on the check-in, you said it was going to be different by county. What time
Yes.
was he expected to be there? You're going to send that out per county or
What county are you in?
Okaloosa?
Okay, so how it's gonna work is those counties that are closest to Jackson County, I had to think of the county, sorry. So those counties that are closest to Jackson County will start at 8, and then we will need to be there later, the farther away we have to travel, because you don't want to have to leave at 5:30 in the morning, I'm assuming. So if you want to leave at 5:30 in the morning and be there right at 8, that's okay, but that's why we were staggering it. So there's not a huge line at check-in.
Prudence, is there any way that we could possibly work, you and I possibly nail down a tentative schedule to send out to the counties? I know it won't be concrete, but maybe do a staggering schedule to give them an eyeball. Because I know for some agents and their families, it would probably help to have some timeline instead of just saying we'll stagger it. Maybe you and I could.
We can create a schedule. That's fine.
Yeah, something to just kind of help them. Because for some families, just a staggering timeline might be difficult for them to estimate. So we could probably put something, draft something simple and send that out pretty quickly so they can plan their day accordingly. Because some may not be able to estimate drive time if they're not familiar with where Marianna specifically is. So we could probably put something together for you, Vanessa.
Okay, and then I had another question about the cooperative coops submitting birds. Last year, we only had one county that did cooperative coops, and those kids used 3 co-op birds, and then they just shared those birds for showmanship time. Is that how we're going to do it this year? And I believe the answer to that is yes, that we are going, we have 3 counties that did co-ops, I believe, and they are going to decide which 3 they're going to bring, and then they're going to share those birds as a co-op. All right, if there are not any other questions, I know I have a meeting with all the agents where I'm going to be seeing them next Wednesday. And so the committee is going to get together early next week, hopefully in an email, and get some of these questions hammered out. And so we will get information out to the youth and the agents. Veronica, give me a holler tomorrow and I'll shoot you that link for the documentation that you need. Okay.
Sounds good. Thank you.
If there aren't any other questions, I'm going to close the meeting. All right, y'all have a good night.
Thanks, Prudence. You did a good job. Are we meeting next week?